Ladies and gentlemen, you see, life has a way of testing you. The noise, the distractions, the unexpected hits, it's relentless. But here's the truth: your power doesn't come from what happens to you. It comes from how you choose to respond. And when you act as if nothing disturbs you anymore, you're not pretending it's a statement of mastery over yourself. People will push your buttons. Situations will try to shake your foundation. That's life. But imagine if you stopped reacting to every little thing. Imagine if you could look chaos in the eye and say, "Not today, you don't have that power over me." That's strength. That's freedom. You've got to understand this: your peace is priceless. And when you give it away to every distraction, every argument, every negative word spoken about you, you're draining yourself of the energy you need for the things that really matter. So you have to protect your peace like it's the most valuable thing you own. Because it is. This isn't about being cold or emotionless. It's about taking control. It's about saying, I decide what gets my attention. I decide what deserves my energy, and most of the time, those things that try to disturb you, they're not worth it. Not even close. When the storms of life come and they will, you need to be the one standing still while everything around you sways. Not because you're immune to pain, but because you've trained yourself to see the bigger picture. The noise around you becomes nothing when the purpose within you is louder. Every time you rise above a situation, you're showing others what true strength looks like. You're not just carrying yourself, you're carrying the hope of everyone watching you. You're proving that peace isn't something handed to you. It's something you fight for. And let me tell you this: your battles, your struggles, they've already prepared you. You've survived more than you realize. So why let the small stuff get under your skin now? Why give power to anything less than your calling? Decide today that nothing disturbs you anymore, not because the world changes, but because you do. Stand tall. Walk with purpose. Live with peace. Because when you do, nothing can break you. Emotional mastery is about gaining control over your inner world, not allowing external circumstances to dictate how you feel, think, or act. It's not about suppressing your emotions, but understanding them, acknowledging them, and then deciding how you want to respond. Life will throw challenges your way, and people will test your patience, but the key is not to react impulsively. Instead, take a moment to pause, breathe, and reflect. That pause can be the difference between peace and chaos. When you master your emotions, you become unshakable. People may criticize you, situations may disappoint you, but your response becomes your choice, not a reflex. It's about recognizing that emotions like anger, fear, and frustration are temporary. They come and go, but you remain. When you don't let those feelings control you, you reclaim your power. Think of emotional mastery as a muscle you train. Every time you choose to stay calm in a tense situation, you're strengthening that muscle. Every time you walk away from unnecessary conflict, you're reinforcing your control. It's not easy, and it doesn't happen overnight. But with consistent effort, you'll find yourself becoming less reactive and more composed. It's also about perspective. When something happens, ask yourself, will this matter in a week? A month? A year? Most of the time, the answer is no. So why let it consume your energy now? Emotional mastery allows you to focus on what truly matters instead of being distracted by the noise of temporary problems. This is not about becoming indifferent or unfeeling. It's about aligning your emotions with your values and goals. You feel deeply, but you act wisely. You acknowledge your pain, but you don't let it define you. Emotional mastery is a gift you give to yourself, a commitment to peace in a world that often tries to disrupt it. Resilience is not something you are born with. It is something you choose, cultivate, and embody. It is the ability to rise after a fall, to rebuild after everything seems to have been torn down. Life doesn't hand you resilience, it offers you opportunities to build it. Every challenge, every setback, every hardship is an invitation to grow stronger. The question is, will you accept it? Choosing resilience means refusing to let circumstances define your destiny. It's a mindset that says, I will not let this break me. I will find a way through. It's not about pretending life is easy or denying the pain that comes with struggle. Instead, it's about recognizing that pain is a part of the process and deciding that the process will not end here. You have the power to determine how your story unfolds, and resilience is the tool that keeps the pen in your hand. When you choose resilience, you shift your perspective. You stop seeing obstacles as reasons to give up and start viewing them as opportunities to grow. Challenges become lessons and setbacks become setups for comebacks. It's not about avoiding hardship. It's about facing it head-on with the conviction that it will not defeat you. Resilience is also about consistency. It's not a one-time decision, but a daily commitment. Every time you get up when you feel like staying down, every time you keep moving when the weight of the world feels too heavy, you are choosing resilience. It's in the small decisions, the decision to try again, to believe again, to hope again. Over time, these choices build a foundation of strength that nothing can shake. This choice also requires faith, not just in the process, but in yourself. You have to believe that you are capable of enduring, that you have within you the strength to overcome. Even when doubt creeps in, even when the path ahead seems uncertain, resilience is the choice to keep going anyway. It's the refusal to let fear paralyze you or failure define you. Resilience is not a passive trait, it's an active practice. It's about showing up for yourself every day, even when it's hard. It's about understanding that setbacks are temporary, but your resolve is permanent. When you choose resilience, you're choosing to fight for your future, to trust in your ability to create a life that reflects your deepest values and highest aspirations. So no matter what comes your way, remember this: resilience is always within your reach. It is your choice, your power, your responsibility. And every time you choose it, you become a little stronger, a little wiser, and a little closer to the person you were meant to be. Silence is one of the most underrated forms of power in life. In a world full of noise, where everyone is rushing to speak, to argue, to defend, silence stands out as a sign of strength and control. It's not about weakness or avoidance, it's about understanding that not every situation requires a reaction. Silence gives you the space to think, to process, and to act wisely instead of impulsively. When you choose silence, you are taking control of the narrative. You're refusing to let external chaos dictate your internal peace. In heated moments, silence allows you to step back, assess the situation, and decide on the most effective course of action. Reacting out of anger or frustration often leads to regret, but silence creates a pause, a moment where wisdom can step in. Silence also carries a weight that words cannot. When you remain silent in the face of provocation, it can speak louder than any response. It sends a message that you are unshaken, that you are not easily drawn into battles that don't serve you. It shifts the focus back onto the other person, leaving them to confront their own words and actions. But silence is not just about dealing with others, it's about finding clarity within yourself. In moments of silence, you hear what truly matters. You gain perspective. You reconnect with your inner voice, which can be drowned out by the noise of daily life. Silence is where solutions are born, where creativity thrives, and where peace is restored. Practicing silence also teaches discipline. It's tempting to always have the last word or to immediately defend yourself when misunderstood. But silence teaches you to let go of the need for validation. It reminds you that your worth is not tied to what others think or say about you. Sometimes the best way to protect your energy is to simply say nothing at all. Silence doesn't mean agreement, nor does it mean submission. It means you're choosing a higher path, a path that prioritizes wisdom over emotion and peace over conflict. It's a way of showing that you value your time, your energy, and your inner calm more than the temporary satisfaction of a heated response. And then there's the silence that speaks volumes. A quiet presence can be more commanding than a loud voice. In relationships, in leadership, and in life, silence often holds more power than words. It creates space for others to reflect, to listen, and to grow. Silence is not the absence of communication, it is a form of communication in itself. It says, I am in control of myself. I will not be moved by the noise around me. I will choose my words and actions with intention. When you master the power of silence, you master the art of living with grace, strength, and purpose. Detachment from negativity is a practice of protecting your mind, heart, and soul from the weight of external toxicity. It's not about ignoring reality or pretending challenges don't exist. It's about choosing not to let negativity take root within you. It's the art of stepping back, observing, and consciously deciding what deserves your energy and attention. Negativity, whether from people, situations, or even your own thoughts, can drain you if you allow it. But detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you care wisely. You recognize that not everything and everyone is worthy of your emotional investment. It's about maintaining your inner peace, even when the world around you feels chaotic. When someone speaks or acts negatively toward you, it often has more to do with them than with you. Their words and actions are a reflection of their struggles, insecurities, and pain. Detachment means understanding this truth and refusing to take things personally. You remind yourself that you are not responsible for their negativity, nor are you obligated to carry it. Detaching from negativity also requires setting boundaries. It's saying no to situations and relationships that consistently bring you down. It's recognizing when a conversation, environment, or behavior is harmful and removing yourself from it without guilt. Boundaries are not walls to isolate you, they are safeguards to preserve your mental and emotional well-being. This practice also extends to your inner dialogue. Often the negativity we need to detach from comes from within. Thoughts of self-doubt, fear, and criticism can be just as destructive as external negativity. Detachment involves observing these thoughts without judgment, understanding that they do not define you, and choosing to replace them with affirmations of truth and positivity. Detachment doesn't mean indifference, it means perspective. You don't ignore problems, but you approach them with a sense of calm and objectivity. You acknowledge challenges, but you don't let them overwhelm you. Detachment gives you the freedom to see the bigger picture, to focus on solutions rather than being consumed by problems. Practicing detachment from negativity also opens the door to greater joy and fulfillment. When you're no longer weighed down by the burdens of others' opinions, the drama of conflicts, or the constant pull of pessimism, you create space for positivity to flow. You start to notice the beauty in life, the opportunities for growth, and the relationships that truly uplift you. Detachment is a skill that takes time and practice. It requires mindfulness, self-awareness, and a commitment to prioritizing your well-being. But as you master it, you'll find a new sense of freedom to live authentically, unaffected by the storms around you. You'll discover that true strength lies not in resisting negativity, but in rising above it, untouchable and unshaken. Inner peace is one of the greatest sources of strength a person can possess. It's not just the absence of conflict or noise, but a profound sense of calm and stability that remains unshaken, even when life gets challenging. True strength doesn't come from controlling the world around you, it comes from mastering the world within you. Inner peace is the foundation of this mastery. When you cultivate inner peace, you create a fortress within yourself, a place where external chaos cannot reach. This doesn't mean you ignore life's problems or avoid challenges, it means you face them with clarity and grace. Inner peace allows you to respond rather than react. It gives you the power to choose calm over chaos, focus over frustration, and faith over fear. Life is full of storms, but inner peace is the anchor that keeps you steady. It's the ability to remain grounded when everything around you feels uncertain. This strength comes from knowing that you can handle whatever comes your way because your peace isn't tied to circumstances. It's tied to your mindset, your values, and your sense of purpose. Inner peace also fosters resilience. When you're at peace within yourself, you're better equipped to bounce back from setbacks. You see challenges as temporary and solutions as possible. Instead of being overwhelmed by difficulties, you approach them with confidence and a calm spirit. Inner peace doesn't eliminate problems, but it gives you the strength to navigate them with wisdom and patience. This strength is not loud or aggressive, it's quiet but powerful. It's the kind of strength that doesn't need to prove itself. It shows up in how you handle conflict, how you treat others, and how you carry yourself in the face of adversity. When you have inner peace, you don't let external negativity disturb your balance. You become a source of calm for yourself and those around you. Inner peace is also a reflection of self-awareness. It comes from understanding who you are, what you value, and what you stand for. When you're aligned with your true self, you stop chasing validation from others or worrying about their opinions. You find contentment in being authentic, and that authenticity becomes your strength. This peace is not something you stumble upon, it's something you cultivate intentionally. It requires practices like mindfulness, gratitude, and self-compassion. It's about letting go of what you cannot control and focusing on what you can. It's about releasing resentment, forgiving others, and choosing to live in the present moment. Inner peace is a daily choice. It's a commitment to protect your energy, prioritize your well-being, and stay connected to what truly matters. It doesn't mean life will always be easy, but it means you'll have the strength to face it with grace. And as you nurture your inner peace, you'll discover that it's not just a source of strength, it's the ultimate expression of it. Focusing on what matters is the key to living a purposeful and fulfilled life. In a world filled with endless distractions, it's easy to lose sight of the things that truly deserve your energy and attention. Every moment you spend on what doesn't matter is a moment taken away from what does. This is why clarity and intentionality are essential. When you focus on what matters, you align your actions with your values and create a life that feels meaningful and impactful. Focusing on what matters requires self-awareness. You need to know what's important to you, your goals, your values, and your priorities. It means asking yourself tough questions. What do I truly care about? What kind of life do I want to build? Once you have those answers, everything else becomes secondary. You learn to let go of distractions, unnecessary obligations, and pursuits that don't align with your vision. It's about recognizing the difference between what's urgent and what's important. The world will always demand your attention with emails, notifications, and endless to-do lists. But just because something feels urgent doesn't mean it's important. Focusing on what matters means stepping back, evaluating your time and energy, and directing them toward the things that truly move the needle in your life. This also applies to relationships. Spend time with people who inspire, support, and uplift you, rather than those who drain your energy or pull you away from your path. Surround yourself with individuals who reflect the values and goals you cherish. Relationships are one of life's most significant investments, and focusing on the right ones can bring immense joy and fulfillment. When you focus on what matters, you also cultivate discipline. It takes effort to resist the pull of distractions and stay committed to your priorities. But the rewards are worth it. You gain a sense of accomplishment and clarity, knowing that your actions are aligned with your purpose. Every step you take toward your goals, no matter how small, becomes a building block for the life you desire. This focus isn't just about achieving success, it's about finding peace. When you let go of the unnecessary and concentrate on what truly matters, you free yourself from the burden of trying to do it all. You realize that you don't need to be everywhere, say yes to everything, or meet everyone's expectations. You only need to stay true to yourself and what's meaningful to you. Focusing on what matters also means embracing balance. It's not just about chasing goals, but also about nurturing your well-being. Health, relationships, personal growth, these are the things that make life rich and rewarding. By prioritizing them, you ensure that your pursuit of success doesn't come at the cost of your happiness. Ultimately, focusing on what matters is a form of self-respect. It's about valuing your time, your energy, and your life enough to say no to what doesn't serve you and yes to what does. It's about living intentionally, making choices that reflect your purpose, and creating a legacy that truly matters. And when you do this, you'll find that life becomes not just productive, but deeply meaningful. Self-discipline is the foundation of success in every area of life. It's the ability to control your impulses, stay focused on your goals, and consistently take the actions necessary to achieve them, even when it's uncomfortable or inconvenient. It's not about being perfect or rigid, it's about choosing growth over immediate gratification and aligning your daily habits with your long-term vision. Practicing self-discipline begins with clarity. You need to know what you're working toward and why it matters. Without a clear purpose, discipline becomes a chore instead of a tool. When your goals are deeply rooted in your values and aspirations, discipline becomes easier to practice because you understand the bigger picture. You realize that every small, consistent action is a step toward the life you want to create. Self-discipline requires you to manage your time and energy wisely. It means prioritizing what's important and eliminating distractions that pull you away from your goals. This can be as simple as setting boundaries around your time, creating a daily schedule, or saying no to activities that don't serve your purpose. Discipline is not just about doing more, it's about doing what matters most. It also involves delayed gratification, the ability to resist short-term temptations for the sake of long-term rewards. This is one of the hardest parts of discipline because it requires you to push through discomfort and resist the pull of instant pleasure. But every time you choose discipline over indulgence, you're strengthening your ability to stay focused and committed. Over time, this builds confidence in your ability to achieve anything you set your mind to. Self-discipline isn't about willpower alone, it's about creating systems that support your success. This might mean setting specific goals, breaking them into manageable steps, and tracking your progress. It could involve building routines that make it easier to stay consistent, such as exercising at the same time each day, or setting aside a specific time for focused work. These systems help you stay on track even when motivation fades. Another key aspect of self-discipline is learning to manage your thoughts and emotions. Doubt, fear, and frustration can derail your efforts if you let them. But when you practice self-discipline, you train yourself to push past these mental barriers. You learn to silence the voice that says, I can't, and replace it with one that says, I will. This mental toughness is what separates those who succeed from those who give up. Practicing self-discipline also means being accountable to yourself. It's easy to make excuses or blame circumstances, but discipline requires you to take full responsibility for your choices and actions. It means holding yourself to a standard of excellence, even when no one else is watching. This accountability builds integrity and self-respect, which are essential for long-term success. Discipline is not about perfection, it's about progress. There will be days when you slip up, but what matters is that you get back on track. Self-discipline is a muscle, and like any muscle, it gets stronger with use. The more you practice it, the more natural it becomes, and the easier it is to stay consistent. Ultimately, self-discipline is about freedom. When you have the discipline to stay focused and consistent, you free yourself from the chaos of impulsivity and the regret of missed opportunities. You gain control over your life, your choices, and your future. And with that control comes the ability to create a life that reflects your highest potential. Perspective over reaction is one of the most powerful tools for navigating the challenges of life. It's the ability to pause and gain a broader view of a situation rather than reacting impulsively to it. In moments of stress, frustration, or anger, it's easy to let emotions dictate your response, but this often leads to regret or unnecessary conflict. Choosing perspective over reaction means taking a step back and considering the situation with clarity and thoughtfulness before making any decisions. When you practice perspective, you give yourself the space to think. You don't allow immediate emotions to cloud your judgment. This doesn't mean suppressing your feelings, but rather acknowledging them and choosing not to act on them in haste. Emotions are natural, but they are not always an accurate reflection of the situation at hand. By stepping back, you can assess the facts, recognize the bigger picture, and decide on the most constructive way forward. Perspective gives you control over your responses. Instead of being controlled by external circumstances or the actions of others, you realize that you are the one in charge of how you respond. You can't control what happens to you, but you can control how you choose to react. This mindset shift is liberating because it frees you from the tyranny of emotional impulse and puts the power back in your hands. Choosing perspective also helps you put things into context. When faced with a problem or a difficult situation, it's easy to focus solely on the immediate challenge. But perspective allows you to step back and ask, will this matter in a week? A month? Often, the things we get upset about are fleeting and insignificant in the long run. With perspective, you can see that the current issue is just one small part of a much larger journey. This can help reduce stress and prevent you from overreacting to something that is temporary. By choosing perspective over reaction, you also learn empathy. When you react impulsively, it's easy to make judgments or misunderstand the intentions of others. However, when you take a moment to gain perspective, you begin to understand that others may be acting out of their own struggles, insecurities, or stress. Instead of immediately defending yourself or attacking, you can respond with compassion, knowing that everyone is dealing with something. This fosters better communication, understanding, and stronger relationships. Perspective is about seeing the situation from multiple angles. It allows you to view your problems through the lens of opportunity rather than failure. A setback becomes a chance for growth. A challenge becomes a lesson, and a conflict becomes a chance to practice patience and understanding. Perspective shifts your focus from what's wrong to what can be learned, giving you the ability to approach life with a sense of curiosity instead of frustration. It also helps you build resilience. When life throws curveballs, having the perspective to see them as part of your growth journey makes it easier to bounce back. Instead of becoming defeated by obstacles, you see them as stepping stones on the path to something greater. This mindset shift allows you to stay calm under pressure and keep moving forward, even when the road gets tough. Perspective over reaction is a skill that requires practice. It's not always easy, especially when emotions run high. But with time, you begin to see that the initial emotional reaction is rarely the most helpful one. The more you practice, the easier it becomes to pause, reflect, and respond with intention rather than impulse. Ultimately, perspective over reaction is about taking control of your life by taking control of your responses. It's about moving through the world with a sense of peace, understanding, and intentionality, regardless of what happens around you. And in doing so, you not only preserve your peace, but also create a life that reflects your true values, purpose, and strength. Gratitude and contentment are two of the most powerful forces for cultivating a life of fulfillment and peace. They are not merely emotional states, but practices that have the potential to transform the way you experience the world. In a society that often encourages striving for more success, more possessions, more validation, gratitude, and contentment offer a refreshing perspective, the recognition that what you have right now is enough, and that peace comes from appreciating the present moment. Gratitude begins with awareness. It's about paying attention to the things, people, and experiences that you might otherwise take for granted. It's easy to become fixated on what's missing or what you haven't achieved yet, but gratitude invites you to shift your focus to what is already here. When you take the time to reflect on the blessings in your life, no matter how small, you begin to see abundance where you once saw scarcity. Gratitude changes your mindset from lack to plenty, from dissatisfaction to appreciation. Contentment, on the other hand, is the quiet acceptance of what is. It's the understanding that true happiness does not depend on external circumstances or future achievements. Contentment is not about complacency or settling for less, it's about finding peace with where you are right now. It's about being fully present in your life, enjoying the moments as they unfold, and trusting that everything is unfolding as it should. When you practice contentment, you stop chasing after something elusive and start living fully in the here and now. Gratitude and contentment are deeply interconnected. Gratitude helps you recognize the good in your life, while contentment allows you to enjoy it without constantly seeking more. Together, they create a sense of fulfillment that is not dependent on external achievements, possessions, or comparisons. Instead of constantly feeling like you need to do more or have more, you start to realize that happiness is not a destination, but a state of mind. These practices also have a profound impact on your well-being. Research shows that people who regularly practice gratitude experience lower levels of stress and depression, improved physical health, and greater overall satisfaction with life. Gratitude helps shift your focus away from negativity and towards the positive, which in turn boosts your mood and energy. Contentment, too, promotes mental and emotional health by encouraging acceptance and reducing feelings of anxiety or dissatisfaction. When you cultivate gratitude and contentment, you also begin to let go of the need for validation from others. In a world that often ties self-worth to accomplishments or external approval, practicing these qualities reminds you that your value is inherent, not based on what you have or what you achieve. You start to understand that you are enough as you are, and that fulfillment comes from within, not from external sources. In relationships, gratitude and contentment create deeper connections. When you are grateful for the people in your life, you acknowledge their contributions, love, and support. This creates a bond built on appreciation rather than expectation. Contentment helps you be fully present with others, without the need to impress, achieve, or compete. You can enjoy the simple pleasures of connection without the pressure of needing more. Gratitude and contentment also foster resilience. Life is full of ups and downs, and when things don't go as planned, it's easy to feel discouraged. But when you are grateful for what you have and content with where you are, you build an emotional foundation that can withstand life's inevitable challenges. Even in difficult times, you can find reasons to be grateful. And in doing so, you develop the strength to endure and overcome. Both of these qualities require practice. It's easy to become focused on what's wrong or what you lack, especially in times of difficulty. But by intentionally shifting your focus to the positive and learning to be content with the present moment, you can train your mind to see the world through a lens of abundance rather than scarcity. Ultimately, gratitude and contentment are about creating a life that is rich in meaning and peace. They allow you to find joy not in what you don't have, but in what you do. By embracing these practices, you create a life that is not dictated by the pursuit of more, but by the appreciation of all that already is. And in that space, you find true happiness and fulfillment. Building a legacy of calm is about creating an environment both within yourself and in your interactions with others that fosters peace, stability, and resilience. It is the ability to maintain composure in the face of life's storms and to leave behind an impact that transcends fleeting moments of chaos. A legacy of calm doesn't mean avoiding challenges or repressing emotions. It means responding to life with measured wisdom and creating a ripple effect that encourages others to do the same. When you build a legacy of calm, you set an example through your actions, not just your words. Calmness isn't something that can be forced or faked. It's a reflection of your inner state. It begins with mastering your emotions and choosing to respond to stress and adversity with grace. Instead of reacting impulsively or with anger, you pause, breathe, and approach situations with clarity and focus. This self-control doesn't just help you, it influences those around you, creating a peaceful environment where others feel safe to express themselves and handle their own struggles. A legacy of calm is also about emotional intelligence. It involves being aware of your feelings and how they affect your behavior. When you understand your emotional triggers and reactions, you are better equipped to maintain control in difficult situations. This awareness allows you to choose peace over conflict, understanding over judgment, and compassion over frustration. By consistently modeling this behavior, you not only manage your own emotional landscape, but also teach others how to navigate their own with wisdom and composure. It also involves building relationships based on trust, respect, and understanding. When you remain calm in your interactions, you help diffuse tension and prevent unnecessary conflict. This kind of peace attracts others, as people are drawn to those who remain steady amidst uncertainty. When others see how you respond to life's challenges with resilience and poise, they are more likely to adopt similar behaviors in their own lives. You become a stabilizing force in your community, workplace, or family, leaving behind a legacy that promotes harmony and understanding. Another important aspect of building a legacy of calm is practicing mindfulness and presence. In today's fast-paced world, it's easy to get caught up in the rush and noise of daily life. But calmness comes from the ability to be present in the moment, to listen deeply, and to act thoughtfully rather than react impulsively. By slowing down and embracing the present, you cultivate a sense of peace within yourself, and that peace becomes contagious. Your presence alone can have a calming effect on others, helping them to find balance and serenity in their own lives. Building a legacy of calm also requires self-care and balance. To remain calm in the face of adversity, you must first nurture your own well-being. This means taking care of your physical, mental, and emotional health. It means making time for rest, reflection, and recharging so you can be at your best when faced with stress or conflict. By prioritizing self-care, you not only strengthen your own resilience, but also model for others the importance of looking after themselves. This encourages a cycle of well-being that spreads to those around you. Calmness doesn't mean inaction or passivity. It means responding to life's challenges with clarity and purpose. Building a legacy of calm involves approaching problems with a solution-oriented mindset and focusing on what you can control. It's about staying grounded in the face of adversity and showing others that they too have the power to remain steady no matter what life throws their way. This kind of calm energy has a lasting effect, creating an environment where challenges are met with resilience and hope rather than fear or panic. The impact of a legacy of calm extends beyond just one's immediate circle. It can influence entire communities, workplaces, or even generations. When you create a legacy of calm, you leave behind a culture of peace, one that encourages thoughtful communication, collaboration, and mutual respect. This legacy isn't just about how you handle your own life, it's about how you inspire others to handle theirs with strength, grace, and serenity. To build a legacy of calm, you must commit to practicing peace in every area of your life through your actions, your words, and your mindset. It is about being a source of stability for others, a steady presence that encourages and uplifts. Over time, this calmness becomes part of who you are, and the legacy you leave behind is one that influences generations to come, creating a lasting ripple effect of peace and tranquility.